All right. Sorry for being late. For those that have been waiting for us to start our audio and video, we are going to start tonight's meeting. So I'm going to call us to order for the June 15th, 2023 LTA board meeting at 6:30. We'll do the roll call for item 2. Mr. Johnson. Here. Mrs. Reward.
Here.
Mrs. Helen.
Here.
And Mr. Peterson.
Here.
And the chair is here, so we have all 5 members in person and present. I guess that's the same thing that I just said twice. Let's go ahead and kick off with the pledge. What can you listen to that pledge, please?
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Peterson, would you read us the mission and vision, please?
Absolutely. The mission, Liberty Tree Academy prepares students to a traditional content-rich education in a disciplined and orderly environment to be self-governing citizens who are equipped to carry out the vision of our nation's founders to preserve and perpetuate liberty. And our vision, Liberty Tree Academy is dedicated to an authentic traditional American education, to be a community that actively cultivates character in a challenging and engaging learning environment.
Very good, thank you. And then our founding father's quote comes to us tonight from Thomas Paine. It is the duty of every man, as far as his ability extends, to detect and expose delusion and error. And let's go with the board member reports in any particular order. Don't everybody jump at once. I'll go last.
I don't have anything. I've been out of town 3 out of 4 weeks, so.
Very good.
I don't have anything other than I will be planning on getting a hold of the parent engagement committee to go to the next meeting.
Very good.
Well, I just like to get some follow-up on how the IT contract has run. I know it's a short duration. I was just curious how that's working out.
Yes, sir. So far, it seems to have gone well. There's definitely a step up in expertise that they've been able to provide for us. They're here 1 day a week. I don't know if you recalled. And so
Is that working? Do you think that's okay? One day?
so far, it seems to be. And then we have additional support that we had previously, just here a few hours a day through the rest of the week as well. So they're even here through the summer. We're going to be having some of our computers and installing some management software and so forth. So it's been a good resource to have on site. So, yes.
Good enough. Thank you.
And Mr. Peterson.
Nothing to report.
Okay, very good. And for myself, I don't really have anything other than welcome aboard, Mr. Manley. This is your first official board meeting as principal, and we're happy to have you. And we're gonna say we saved all the hard questions for you tonight. So
Let's do it.
you're in for a while. Okay, let's go on to principal report item number 8. We have 3 items there: facilities, people and culture, and financials. And I like the way that this is organized because I think it gives little components, and there are certain things that I know you're going to highlight for us under each one. So without further ado.
Yeah, those feel like the big buckets. So a couple of items with facilities, we continue to work with our roofing people to stop the leaks in the building. So it's been an ongoing process, partly because of our summer so far, weather. But we'll take it as a positive that we're getting the opportunity to see that there are some challenges there and work on correcting them. If it had been so dry, we would have had that opportunity. So it's still in process. It's we had someone out this week again working on some leaks we didn't see the first time. So we will continue to try to drive the water in some different directions other than into the building.
Is it Tecum that's doing, are they warranting it, or is it Mansville, or we're not really sure who's claiming responsibility?
I
Or
think,
denying?
yeah, I don't think anyone's claiming responsibility exactly, but they have been
Fixing it.
Yes, with some encouragement,
Okay.
much encouragement,
It's what you need more. On
especially
the encouragement part.
by Mrs. Walsh. She's got them on speed dial at this point. So we're also continuing to work on the gym floor. We are waiting to receive another quote on that here shortly. and hopefully able to move forward. It's a real strong possibility that that's a Christmas break project for us with the way the timeline is going at this point and getting the right people scheduled. Still potential to maybe do that right before school begins. And in between that and when our summer kind of activities in the gym end. We have some rentals and camps and things going on, so we're trying to get past those. And we're working on beautifying things outside just a little bit. There's always some things that are popping up and things to do, but we have some plans to replace some dead trees and get some flowers planted in front of the wall out front too. So facilities. We're continuing to look for a number of positions to fill. We've done a decent job so far. I'd say we're kind of in that halfway. There are just about 10 people that we've brought on board so far between upper, lower, and some coaches, but we're probably still looking for as many people yet. So we're continuing to pursue those on a daily basis. And then finally, I think financials, if we have anything, Mrs. Miller would be happy to.
I knew we had some back and forths with emails and making sure that everything was right. And I know that we have our audit, which is next month, July 26th? 24th. So we can do, let's see, we have board training.
What you didn't do?
The
agenda.
We did not.
You skipped one.
We did not. Let's go ahead and clean that up right now, though.
I think we might have to amend it, right?
Yeah.
Have a discussion on it.
Bear with us one moment. Okay. So that was my fault that we did not approve an agenda for item number 5. So let's go back to item number 5 really quick. If I could get a motion to, actually before we approve, let's go ahead and amend. I move that we amend our printed budget to include under board discussions item number B, which will be budget.
Which is financials.
Or that's fine. I move to include item number B as financials. If I could get a second, please.
I'll second.
Okay, very good. Is there any opposition? Okay, so we've added that, and now if I could get a motion to approve the agenda as amended to include financials as item B for board discussion.
I'll make the motion.
Second. And that's been moved and seconded. Is there any opposition to adopting our amended budget? No opposition. Okay, so now we have a budget, or now we have an agenda. So let's do. I'm going to call it out of order item. Let's do the budget. Mrs. Miller, if you'll come. I don't know if anybody's going to have any questions, but do you mind having a seat there,
Okay.
just so you're closer to the mic, so those that may be listening in, the countless individuals that are online.
Okay.
And if you could just kind of talk us through, I know that there were some emails that were going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're in the black. If you could give us the highlights, we have an adopted budget, so we already have one.
Correct.
And we're preparing for our budget, so for our audit. If you could just give the board and those listening in an update, kind of where we are in the black, audit, all of those things together.
So there are 2 funds that we take care of, Fund 11 and Fund 26. Fund 11 is in the black, but because Fund 26 had principal payments this year, this was the first year that they had them, it was not included on one of the line items for that particular item. So what we needed to do was make sure that we had enough reserve spending to cover that 195. So we would have to borrow from our beginning fund balance for Fund 26 to bring that whole.
Right. Now, it looks like we have under action items following our executive session, I think we have a resolution that we're going to be looking at.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and move. We'll make sure that resolution is there under item 13.
Okay.
Specifically. And then I don't know if you had anything to add, Mr. Manley, on the budget. I mean, obviously.
So that should all be fixed.
Correct.
No, that was the big one, and then preparing for the audit.
Okay.
And just to specify, this was for 22, 23, not for the one that was done last month.
Right,
So,
this is the
yeah.
one for the year prior.
For our current year, yeah,
Yeah.
the amended portion, yeah.
And then how long is the audit going to take? Are they going to be in the building one day, or are they?
They estimate one day, but they may have additional questions, and they'll generally use their portal, or they'll call or ask questions that way. So,
And then how did they, in terms of presenting the audit, is that just a document that's then emailed to us, provided to us electronically? Do they come typically and present to the board on their findings? Is there like, how does that?
that part I don't know.
Okay.
I hadn't attended previous board meetings, so I don't know how they do that. But they do have an official document that has all of those records, and that's what gets posted
I think
on our
Eric has-
website.
Yeah, if you don't mind,
Yep.
jump in, I can add on that. You're using the whole team group moving forward, right? Is that?
I'm sorry?
We're using the whole team group, whole team?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we use.
So they will volunteer somebody to come present to the board,
Yeah.
just the executive summary.
Okay.
They'll do that in person if you want. If not, they will give a copy to every board member and make sure there's one up in the office as well. It's a big old binder. They'll drop off how many ever you want, 10, 20. But they'll do it either way. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And then how long does it take for us? So our next board meeting, I think, is July 20th. Is it likely that we would have it in time?
Oh.
No, actually, no, we wouldn't, because then
No.
I can start on the 26th. So August. So we would.
We're
be
looking
able-
at August, and then the official one has to be posted by, I think, like mid-September. So
Okay. So it looks like the August board meeting is the 24th.
hopefully we would have something by then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You bet.
I appreciate it. Under item 9, we had board training timeline. Jenny,
Yeah,
do
just
you
a
wanna-
discussion. So one of the
Leave that.
things that we have to do for our auto renewal is board training. So I reached out to both Dustin and Eric, actually, group to kind of see what offerings they can give us in what areas. And so, I think it would be good if we as a board discussed, would we rather do like a one day, all day training with like several different sessions be appropriate. I think as far as timing, I think we should get this done sooner than later. And then we have to come up with a whole procedure about board training or, like an ongoing board training plan. I have no problems kind of working on that between now and the next board meeting and getting some things in place. I think it would be wise if we did board training because it's going to happen before October and then we're going to have people coming in October. If whatever format we choose, it's something that is then accessible for our new board members to watch. So like if Eric comes in and does training, if we can record it or something like that so that they can watch it when they get on, so we're not having to not all of us have to go through the same training over and over. And then we can start coming up with resources and stuff. So when we do add board members or whatever, especially if it's like in an in-between time, that we have like a process already approved. I guess, does anybody have preference? Whether we do like an intensive all-day thing, or if we do several different, like, we can do like topical sessions, like legal requirements, and Eric's on the list. Some topics. but-
My preference would be if we could just do all day. Typically a Saturday, I think, I know it's going to burn people's Saturday, but I think that would be my
As long as
preference.
it's not next Saturday.
No, yeah. Well, and so it would probably be best if we get our calendars out and try and identify a date before we leave tonight. Would that be helpful? Or
Yeah, I think let's try to identify like 3 prospective dates.
Okay.
And then I can kind of try to come up with something, and then at the next board meeting, we can vote on it.
Okay.
So nothing between now and mid-July.
Yeah.
And I guess if we had to do it like a virtual thing, we could do a virtual thing too. I don't even know.
Or maybe
Wasn't that an option we had with District 49 providing some virtual training for us too, that was going to be added to the curriculum or not?
Eric, do you know?
So yeah, to offer a third option, there are a set of modules that
Yeah,
are all
CDE
virtual,
modules.
that you can actually complete it on your own. Everybody can do it on their own time, and they actually print a certificate off at the end.
Yeah.
That's what we'd file and then that's what Mr. Manley would submit to the upload
Yeah.
requirement for that. So it would be a physical document, whereas Dustin and I mean, we could did this module, but it's just a, in his way and more than mine will, because he's, an attorney, but, so there, you could do a combination of all that, so maybe it's not like a full day. Maybe some of the modules you do online, you select a couple for in person that might have more discussion on them, or you could just do all day. Any of them work, it would be good to have it before the district review in October.
Do you happen to know, Eric, how many hours, if all the modules online through CDE?
They take a long time. You can't have any other screen open on your computer when you do them. Really savvy. I've done like 7 of them already.
Okay.
And there was like 30.
Yeah, I think there's 33.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's saved me 2 hours.
Okay.
And I've already done all the modules once, a couple years ago.
Okay.
So
So
I'm not necessarily sitting through all the presentations.
Sure. So there's several levels there, though.
Yeah, either way, it's gonna, the 4-hour training on a Saturday or 3 or 4 hours for all modules.
Okay. Any thoughts on the board on CDE modules versus?
I think having somebody to come in and do it is probably the most efficient. And then what we can even do is adopt something that has, like each party will do their modules, but do it over time. I think just you're getting everything that they want. I don't think that D49 is going to think that we could be overtrained in
Sure.
history.
Sure.
So, I mean, yeah, so I think we can kind of come up with dates. That would be a good thing.
So CDE modules basically on our own, but do an in-person all day on a Saturday.
Yeah, like 4 hours you think is sufficient? That's probably what Dustin would say too.
Okay. Does everybody have a calendar that we can look at 3 possible Saturdays? There's probably going to be a little bit of that. I think the earliest we could even look to would be Saturday the 29th of July. You're gone? Okay, so we're into August.
I'm gone the 5th. I'm
Okay.
gone the 12th.
Okay,
I'm in town and the 19th.
okay,
And then I'm gone the 26th.
okay. I'm not available the 26th either. The 19th looks good for me. Okay.
Does that work for you? Yep.
That's good for me.
The 19th looks good for you.
Okay.
So that's that. August 19th is one option.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I could do the. Did you guys say you guys could do the 5th or you can't do the 5th?
August 5th?
Yeah. I would just have to be virtual. I could do it that day. I'm just not in town. I'd have to be virtual.
Let me double check something else.
This is pretty open for me, so I can do this.
Bear with me. Look for another schedule.
Certain service or
Exactly.
food.
Exactly. There it is. Okay.
Mike, can you guys do the 5th?
I cannot do the 5th.
I can't either. I got a big birthday party.
Okay, so we're not doing that.
Okay.
All right, then I'm not in town again until September 22nd.
Oh, whoa, jeez. Okay.
All hockey.
A lot of it is hockey, and it's like prime conference time, and I present at conferences. And,
So even any of those Saturdays, a virtual isn't a possibility either.
well, let me think. So not Labor Day weekend, we're camping. The 9th. Where am I? Do not schedule, likely out of town.
For the 9th? Okay.
But we can do the 16th, I have to be virtual, because I'm in Anaheim.
Okay.
And I do
The 16th of
September.
September.
16th.
September.
Yeah. Can you do the 16th of September?
September?
Yeah, I can do it.
Yes. And then the 16th of September.
Not September 10th. No, 16th, that's 16th.
Um,
And I can do,
yes.
and I can do the 23rd.
23rd of September.
Mhm.
So September 16th would be our second option.
Mhm.
And then September 23rd, can you do the 23rd as a possibility?
Yes.
All right, so it looks like we have August 19th is option 1, September 16th is option 2, and September 23rd is option 3. Okay.
Okay, got it.
And then let's talk about the online modules. I know there's a couple hours there. Does it make sense to try and complete the modules prior to the October?
I think people
Date?
can, but I wouldn't try to kill yourself.
I'm going to make an effort to make sure that I've got those modules complete by October.
So there was an issue when I started doing them that the newer modules hadn't been uploaded. So I think it was still the 2021 or the 2022 modules that were the only ones that you could do. I don't know if that's changed.
Might have even been the 19.
Maybe it was earlier than that.
Do we
That was
know?
the issue. They hadn't uploaded them and I had email and.
I mean, I wouldn't think that D49 would say you didn't take the current one, knowing that the current one isn't available.
Yeah. And I'm not sure who D49 is going to be looking at this right now because Andy's last day is June 30th, and I don't think they have a replacement. So
It's kind of hard to find on the CDE website.
Yeah, I was trying to find the link.
It's really difficult to find, so I'll find it and I'll just send everybody the link.
Okay, all right.
It's a pain in the butt.
Then I'm going to make a verbal commitment to the board that I'm going to try and bang out all of at least whatever modules are currently available, just so that I've been able, or I will be able to check that block as well. And I would just encourage other board members to do the same.
You send me the notes?
Yeah, send you the notes. That's it. That's it. I was going to get the notes from Jenny. They'll be-
So- I will say that, so pursuant to our board of directors handbook, we're supposed to do an annual retreat that will include training and orientation. So I think that's that 4-hour whatever training that we do.
So that's what we would call it. It would be retreat with board training.
This is what our current handbook says. Within 12 months of joining the board, we'll undertake a comprehensive review of the charter school board and rules by completing the charter board modules. And then participate yearly in at least one seminar, webinar offered by the Colorado League of Charter Schools or the CDE. Do the self-evaluation. And then visit the school.
Okay.
So those are the things that we need to. That's what's in our handbook.
And you said one module through the league or CDE.
No, the module through CDE,
Yeah, you said
and then at least one seminar or webinar,
seminar, webinar.
which I didn't see anything. But I don't know if they exist and I can't find them.
Yeah, I don't know about the league, if that's what you're referring to,
I don't think
because
they're doing them anymore.
I'm one of their trainers now and we do all ours in person. So,
Okay.
So this,
but my trainings are based off of the league's trainings, so it would be essentially the same thing.
this is the handbook that we had back in the school, but so I don't think it's been amended. So we probably need to look at it.
Or CDE.
But actually, that if you can send it to me.
You don't have access to?
Oh, I do. Isn't it there? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, here. Hold on.
So does that take care, does anybody else have anything to add on board training timeline under item 9? Okay, that brings us to item number 10, which is public comment. I'll read this. It doesn't look like there's anyone in the audience. Public comment, item number 10. We appreciate and welcome comments on Liberty Tree Academy school operations and programs as part of our public comment. We ask that your comments be made in a respectful and orderly manner. Follow-up action items may be assigned to the appropriate board board or staff member, depending on the nature of the comments. During public comment, a board member may choose not to respond to any comments made in public session. In accordance with board policy, public participation is limited to 3 minutes per person. Thank you for participating in our public comment forum. Does not look like there is anyone in attendance that is interested in offering public comment, so that concludes item number 10. Item number 11, which is action items. We had our past meeting minutes, which were sent out. I don't know if anybody had any updates or changes that they wanted to make.
Regarding 8E,
Which one?
8E of May 19th. The warranty company, Mansell, will be covering the damage, but nothing on the interior. I don't know if it was affirmatively that they said that they wouldn't do anything on the interior. I think that was we didn't know if they were gonna do something on the interior.
It's a good question.
Can you confirm that?
Mr. Crandall has begun repairs on the inside. John's man bill, as far as I know, will not cover anything on the inside, strictly outside.
What are your thoughts?
I just couldn't, I just didn't remember that that was my only, that was my only comment.
Okay. Does anybody have any other comments? I lost connectivity, so I'm trying to reconnect while I do this as well. I don't have any additional comments. Can I have a motion for adopt or approval of the past meeting minutes? Okay.
If I word it wrong, let me know.
Sure.
I move to adopt or make a motion to adopt the approval of the last meeting minutes.
And a second?
Second?
Is there any opposition to adopting our past meeting minutes? All right, we've adopted our meeting minutes. That brings us to item number 12. Executive session. Under executive session, we have 2 items. Colorado Revised Statute 246402-4D, specialized details of security arrangements, specifically continued review of LTA security plan. Colorado Revised Statute 246402-4B, conference with attorney for public entity, specifically receiving legal advice related to new legislation and LTA policies. Can I have a motion to enter into executive session?
I'll motion to go into executive session.
And a second?
Second?
Very good. Any opposition to moving to executive session? No opposition. We'll move to executive session in, let's say, 10 minutes or thereabout. We're meeting with Dustin there. So Mr. Manley, if you would join us, and Eric, if you would join us as well, we would appreciate that. And then obviously the board will be in attendance. And then we'll just come back eventually once we're through with executive session. So see you all in about 10 minutes.